Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Devious Mind here. Just wanted to give you guys a little insight on my new favorite deck as I came to the realization that dot comps are the current meta. As you'll see, the record that I had, I had it like a 30% as I was, trying to test out new decks because I was trying to create a new deck. I was having issues with trying other people's decks for a dot comp, and I just wasn't too fascinated by the other people's dot comps that they were using. So I tested different things. I was like, if I'm using a dot comp, I don't want other dot comps countering me. So, I tried all this different stuff, and then later you can see like my win rate starts going up. I start thinking of different things, and eventually I realize this is the spell comp that you want. You want transfer, you want spoil, and you want the fireball spell flame strike. All right. Um, Reason being is no matter what they try to do back to you, um, you have two separate entities that can detonate um, their continuous damage stacks. So it's like if they try to transfer it back to you, so be it. If they try to heal back from it, so be it. You're going to deal so much damage that they're not going to really heal back up from it. And if they try to send your damage back to you, mind you, your continuous damage might expire at a certain point, right? So realistically, like, this deck is insane in my opinion. I've had it where they've tried to use, spells like this, Chains of Despair, against me, and I've used it against them with my dot comp. After they'd already wasted their transfer spell on me. Um, I'll get into, some videos here, just kind of showing you how to use it, explain what I did and why I did it, so that you know how to at least use the deck. So for starters here, um, Ramagos, I have him so that he can tank, and if need be, like if they're using like a really big like single target nuke comp, what I can do is take out whatever I feel is a big threat up front, like if it's another Ramagos or if it's, a Coon, which is this water element golem. Um, Ramagos is really going to be good at countering the things that stop me from using my Tessarian. I don't want someone to be stopping me from using Tessarian because that is ideally your main damage output mon here. Because the thing is, you have a spoil spell, you have a flame strike, you have dot here, a dot here. Um, you can even utilize Poseidon's AoE, like because if you have this particular skill stone, that green skill stone for Tessarian, what it'll do is it'll add bonus damage per debuff that the enemy has on them. So let's say you add a slow and then you add like anywhere from 2 to 4 continuous damage. Um, you can drop the enemy health bars by 40% with ease. You don't need a defense break or nothing like that. So just having any kind of debuff on them can give you a massive amount of damage. And they'll try to put a weakness found on me. I'll counterattack. Like, this is a really good like counterattack deck. All right, if you're just trying to do pure counterattacks, you can throw something in there. If you feel like someone's gonna like try to stun you or whatever, and do their own counters on you. Like there's ways to ease your way in there, right? Um, yeah, definitely. The ideal setup is you're either gonna have Bernard as one of your first cards, or you're gonna have Poseidon as one of your first cards, or you're gonna have Beretta as one of your first cards. So ideally, um, realistically, it could be Bernard, it could be Beretta, it could be um, Perna, it could be Poseidon. Like those are usually the fours that are going to show up in your hand um, when you start off. You know, if it does end up being Tsarian, I mean, he hits hard, so it can benefit you. But ultimately, uh, you want to start off with Bernard being your first move. If you had to pick between Poseidon and Beretta, you'd want to go Beretta first, but you got to make sure that you're watching your mana consumption rate. You want to have it to where you can counterattack with Beretta, but you can also have it to where if the enemy tries to move again, you can counterattack with either Sira or Tessarian to detonate that continuous damage because you don't just want to stack continuous damage there. If you feel like you want to stack continuous damage that, let's say, isn't going to be cleansable, like, you know, something that, like, if they try to cleanse, it's not really going to work for them in any positive light. You can use Perna in those situations, but Perna is a last resort in this comp. It's mainly just to tank damage in this particular comp. Reason being is he has 2 lives. If he goes through the first life, cool. He's pretty much allowing you to keep those stacks going for Beretta and Sierra. Again, Poseidon, you want in front of your Perna because you know Poseidon is gonna die quick, probably. You know, so they might have a Lucian in there. So that being said, it's better just to have Poseidon kind of take that little bit of damage, um, and then have that Perna just behind him. So slot 1 would be Ramagos, slot 2 would be Bernard, slot 3 Konamea, slot 4 would be your Tessarian, slot 5 Poseidon, slot 6 Perna, slot 7 Beretta, slot 8 you're gonna have Ciara. So pretty much, what we're gonna do is we're gonna replay here. I'm gonna explain what I did. All right. So pretty much leading into this, you're gonna see me stack some dots. And, you know, when they add buffs is where it can be very beneficial to utilize Sierra against them because you know she strips and detonates. It's not like um, it's going to benefit them too much unless they have like invincibility. So you see there, only one of them had a shield buff, so I'm like, I can go and start cleaving their team, right? There, I knew that Kum is going to try to tank up, you know, and try to take out my tank there so that he can get back to my Tessarian. Um, Reason why I don't want that is because we already have an elemental advantage coming from this Lapisse here. I don't want her hitting her AoEs and then stacking damage with Coom. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to transfer spell all of the debuffs that they just applied to me, and then I'm going to detonate them with Tessarian doing massive damage because like those damage stacks finish off their characters with, you know, Poseidon and then Tessarian. Just as they're attacking me, just keep counterattacking, keep counterattacking. And you saw like Sarn was really low on health, but I was just reserving my mana for counterattacks. So they're gonna try to heal up. They're gonna try to do everything in the book, trying to stay alive, right? But with Sierra, they can't really avoid the damage output that they're receiving if they try to buff up. And if they don't try to buff up and they try to attack back, Tessarian is just going to do a really powerful AoE and they're going to die really, really quickly. So this setup, I haven't found many builds that actually counter it. If I have the right lineup, you know, everything's in the right order, um, it's a very deadly setup. It's honestly a very deadly setup. So ultimately, you could run into situations where they do vitality conversion and they try to take out my Jasarian really quickly. That could be bad. Um, but if they don't have that spell immediately, they're probably done for in the most like in most cases per se. Because you could have a vitality conversion, but after you've already taken out pretty much nearly all their mons with, you know, the Tsarian use, the Sierra use, so on and so forth, it can go really south for them really quickly. So they have to have a perfect lineup with their deck um, to really counter this deck. Because you see all these wins. This is back to back. I'm like half asleep playing this. If you guys would like to know more regarding this deck, if you'd like to get some more feedback as to you know different things to look out for with this deck, just let me know. But really recommend it. Obviously, I know I'm probably gonna face a lot of y'all um, using my new deck here, but I commend you guys for testing it out. If you do, it's definitely a great deck, and I'm glad to share it with you guys.